Get ready for the biggest stories dominating the news today. We start with the K-pop phenomenon. Airbnb has teamed up with the group Cortis for an immersive experience in Seoul, and we dive into how this collaboration is reshaping global travel trends.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at major geopolitical tensions as South Korea navigates a difficult moment. We examine Seoul's response to the recent incident involving a vessel anchored near the United Arab Emirates. The pressure is mounting as President Trump urges Seoul to join a critical mission in the Strait of Hormuz following reports of an incident involving a South Korean cargo ship. We also explore the broader diplomatic landscape surrounding this maritime issue, looking at the complex security concerns shaping the future of global shipping and international alliances. Stay with us for the full breakdown. Noi Dung Kai Tight. Airbnb is aggressively leveraging its K-pop partnerships to capitalize on the massive global appeal of Korean culture, drawing significant traveler interest to South Korea. This strategy is underscored by a recent research study commissioned by Airbnb, which found that 94% of visitors and prospective travelers to Korea cited K-culture as a primary influence on their decision to visit. Furthermore, travelers motivated by K-culture exhibit higher spending habits, staying longer, and a greater propensity to travel in groups, signaling a growing trend of global audiences pursuing K-pop pilgrimages. /n/and this focus is exemplified by a recent immersive experience hosted in partnership with the K-pop boy band Cortis, which attracted a large influx of fans to central Seoul. The event featured an elaborate hideout designed around the group's latest single, Redrid, incorporating design elements and interactive stations that engaged fans with the group's themes. /n/and Cortis, a 5-member group debuting under HYBE's big hit music label, has rapidly gained traction, highlighted by their successful debut EP and appearances, including headlining the opening night of the NBA crossover concert series. The fan engagement activities at the event emphasized the emotional connection between the group and their audience, featuring personalized interactions and group challenges. /n/and this collaboration is part of a long-term strategy for Airbnb, which has systematically aligned its brand identity with South Korea's cultural exports since 2022, including previous collaborations with BTS and ENHYPEN. The company is now expanding this by offering unique, locally led experiences, such as K-pop dance classes and night market tour, to K-pop travelers. /n/and Lila Seo, Airbnb's country manager for Korea, stated that K-pop and K-concerts are a strong driver of travel demand. She noted that BTS's recent activities significantly boosted accommodation occupancy, and the research indicates that K-culture-motivated travelers spend an average of $435 more per trip. /n/and beyond marketing, these partnerships are increasingly serving a regulatory function. By publicly aligning with K-pop stars and providing data demonstrating the economic impact of K-culture tourism, Airbnb is positioning itself to influence government policy. The South Korean government is targeting 30 million annual inbound visitors, and Airbnb is signaling its desire to be a key partner in achieving this goal, suggesting that increased cultural goodwill can drive necessary regulatory reform concerning short-term rentals in the country. South Korea has firmly rejected former President Donald Trump's proposal for a Project Freedom, aimed at reopening the Hormuz Strait following a recent ship fire. Officials in Seoul have indicated that joining any such mission would require a UN mandate and the backing of a global coalition. The incident involved a ship anchored in waters near the United Arab Emirates, carrying a total of 24 crew members, including 6 South Koreans and 18 foreign nationals. Seoul's initial response to the call for intervention has been characterized as a polite but firm refusal, signaling a strong stance against the proposed reopening of the critical waterway. Seoul is grappling with a mounting dilemma following a recent vessel fire in the Strait of Hormuz, coinciding with increased pressure being applied by the Trump administration. The situation highlights complex geopolitical and security challenges facing South Korea. The ongoing situation necessitates close monitoring of diplomatic and military responses. The reporting reflects a deep focus on the intersection of geopolitics, security, and policy decisions that are actively shaping the trajectory of the Korean peninsula. This dynamic environment requires continuous analysis of developments from key government bodies, including the Ministry of Unification, the Foreign Ministry, and the Defense Ministry, as well as tracking shifts in North Korea's evolving posture. Furthermore, the broader context of South Korea's economic landscape, including banking, markets, and regulatory developments, remains crucial, as economic policy is deeply intertwined with national security strategy. U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly accused Iran of firing upon a South Korean cargo ship and other targets, urging Seoul to join a mission aimed at reopening the vital Strait of Hormuz. These remarks were made on social media as the United States launched Project Freedom, an operation designed to guide commercial vessels stranded by the U.S.-Israeli conflict against Iran out of the waterway. Trump stated, "Iran has taken some shots at unrelated nations with respect to the ship movement, Project Freedom, including a South Korean cargo ship. Perhaps it's time for South Korea to come and join the mission." He added that while 7 small boats had been shot down, there had been no damage to other vessels in the strait at that moment. The comments followed reports from Seoul's foreign ministry regarding an explosion on a Panama-flagged ship operated by HMM Co., a major South Korean shipping firm, in the Strait of Hormuz. The vessel, carrying 24 crew members, was anchored near the UAE, and no casualties were reported, though the cause of the explosion is under investigation. Amid Iran's continued obstruction in the waterway, Trump warned in a phone interview with Fox News that Iranian forces would face severe consequences if they targeted U.S. vessels in the strait. He also maintained a positive outlook for peace talks, suggesting Iranian negotiators were far more malleable. Trump's renewed call for South Korea's participation in the mission has increased pressure on the Asian nation, which is heavily dependent on the strait for its energy imports, as the waterway accounts for approximately a fifth of the world's oil supply. This incident occurred as the U.S. initiated Project Freedom to restore freedom of navigation in the strait, which Iran has effectively blocked amid the Middle East conflict. The Pentagon has announced a plan to withdraw about 5,000 troops from Germany, while Trump simultaneously announced plans to raise tariffs on EU goods to 25%. Military operations under Project Freedom have seen the U.S. military destroy 6 Iranian small boats and intercept cruise missiles and drones. CENTCOM has detailed a significant deployment plan, which includes guided missile destroyers, over 100 aircraft, unmanned platforms, and 15,000 service members. The U.S. Navy is advising commercial ships to avoid mines and is on standby to intervene if attacked, though there is no current plan for full naval escorts. U.S. Central Command confirmed that U.S.-flagged merchant vessels have successfully transited the strait, with guided missile destroyers operating in the Arabian Gulf in support of Project Freedom. The rising tensions have cast a shadow over prospects for a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran.